DSLR Film Noob. Alright guys, what I've got for you today is the GoPro Hero 3 Black Edition. This little camera has a ton of features crammed into a tiny little package. It'll shoot 4K at 15 frames a second. It'll shoot 2.7K at 30 frames a second, and it'll shoot 1080p at up to 60 frames a second. Plus it has built-in Wi-Fi, so you can control this with internet-ready devices like your tablet or your phone. And it has a bunch of other awesome features that I'll get to in a minute. The camera runs about $399 without any of the extras, and comes with this cute little case to house your GoPro. So let's take a closer look at the GoPro Hero 3 Black Edition. When I ordered the Hero 3, I got a few of the extra accessories, including the touch panel that goes on the back. This is handy for controlling the camera and setting it up. Plus, since you don't have live view while recording with the app, this is handy for seeing what you're actually filming. The Hero 3 Black Edition does come with this remote. It's easy to turn the camera on and off and start and stop recording. Also, I recommend this Wasabi battery charger and battery combo. You can get 2 Wasabi batteries and the charger for $25, and these are 1200 milliamp hour batteries instead of 1050 milliamp hour batteries that come from GoPro. And the GoPro batteries are about $20 plus shipping. These are $25 for the standalone charger and 2 of the batteries. The standalone charger is extremely handy because you're not tying up your GoPro Hero 3 while you're charging your batteries. Audio quality on the Hero 3 isn't amazing. Even with the back plate that has the holes in it for audio recording, it still kind of sounds muffled and crappy. A few people have reported that they even have this horrible like whistling, crackling noise going on in either the left or the right channel. That seems to be an issue with the first batch. I don't experience that with mine, although the audio quality still isn't amazing. They do have a USB to audio adapter cable for the GoPro Hero 3, and I'll test that out once I get my hands on it. One of the new features of the GoPro Hero 3 is that you now have a wide, a medium, and a narrow mode in 1080p. So here is the wide mode, here is the medium mode, and here is the narrow mode in 1080p. Alright, so right now I'm using dual system sound and I'm recording with the GoPro Hero 3 Black Edition at 2.7K. I'm using my phone as the controller for the GoPro, and you can see right now that preview mode is not supported at 2.7K. This is with the latest firmware update and the latest app update, which is 1.1.12. So right now I'm recording at 720p. I'm using my phone again to control it, and you can see that there is no preview of the video while I'm recording. All right, let's go ahead and test the app here. So here's the GoPro app. First, you want to make sure that you are connected to the camera's Wi-Fi network, which I am right there. So click on the app. The app goes portrait, hit connect to the camera, and then I'm going to tilt my tablet there so that it goes back to landscape. Now that it's in landscape, the Wi-Fi is on the camera, even though the camera is technically off. So hit the power button and you should hear the beeps. That indicates that the camera is on. Once the camera is on, then you just need to wait for the preview window to start up. Now that the preview window is started up, one thing you can do with the preview window that's kind of cool is if you click on this, it goes full screen. So if you want full screen display of what you are trying to frame, you have that option. Click one more time right here and you're back to the regular display. If you go to your settings and click on the little tool icon, you have all the regular controls for the camera that you would expect. In this case, I have it set to 2.7K, but you have all the other options available. So let's go back to the screen here. And if you look at the main screen, you'll notice that there is the ability to turn the preview mode off. Not sure why you'd want to do that. You get a count right here for the number of clips you've recorded, a Wi-Fi indicator, and a battery indicator for the unit. Here is a disappointing part though. When you hit record, you'll notice that preview is not supported. Now this is an Android device. I do not own any iOS devices, so I don't know how well that works, but it is very unfortunate that the preview doesn't work while you are in recording mode. You'll also notice that there is about a 3-second delay on here. My hand is here, now it's at the tablet, and it's back here again. And you can see that that's about 3 seconds. So even though this is sort of a live view, it is a delayed live view. So motion is going to look a little bit weird and sometimes it gets a bit choppy. Hopefully they will release a newer version of the software for Android devices that works a little bit better. On top of all the other features that are crammed into the Hero 3 Black Edition, the time-lapse features on this guy are excellent. You get a ton of intervalometer selections, and the battery at intervalometer setting of 2 seconds lasts about 2 hours. So that's a reasonable amount of time to, say, catch a sunrise, a sunset, or some kind of other astrological event. If you want to go longer than that though, say a whole day or what have you, you might either want to plug this in or get the battery pack that goes on the back of the unit. If you have that, you could probably go quite a bit longer than the 2 hours I was getting at an intervalometer setting of 2 seconds. Plus, the Cineform app that comes with the GoPro is really easy to use. You just drop your clips into the Cineform app and it basically generates the time lapse for you. It gives you a few really simple, easy settings, and you hit convert and you're done. So if you are looking for something to do time lapse in an area where you might have, I don't know, thunderstorms or water or something that could damage a regular camera, this is definitely something to consider. The image quality on the touchscreen isn't amazing, but it's good enough to frame stuff and it gives you good indication of what's going on. If you click on the stuff on the screen, most of the time it reacts, sometimes it doesn't, not really sure why. And sometimes with my larger fingers, I accidentally hit settings that I was not expecting to hit to change things up. But overall, it is pretty useful and it gives you information that you otherwise wouldn't get. Plus, since you do not have a live view on your phone while you're recording, you can use this to kind of frame your shots and get an idea of what's going on. Or you can use the HDMI port on the side of the GoPro Hero 3. Overall, the Hero 3 Black Edition is a pretty awesome value. At $399, it's cheaper than a Steadicam. It provides the warp stabilization option at 2.7K, which is pretty sweet. You can go all the way up to 4K at 15 frames per second if you want to, and the 1080p mode now has different framing options as well as the ability to go up to 60 frames a second if you want to do some cool slow-mo stuff. This is a tiny little camera, and despite the glaring obvious problems with the Android app for controlling this, it's still a pretty awesome bargain. I can't wait until they start shoving 4K into DSLRs and other devices. I will have a link in the crotch bar below to a tutorial I did on using the Cineform app to generate time-lapse video with the Hero 3. You can also use that app for your DSLR if you're shooting a lot of time-lapse stuff and you want an easy way to conform that to video. There will also be a full write-up over at DSLRFilmNoob.com. As always, thanks for watching, and if you like this content, please subscribe.